Alrighty, we should be just about ready to begin. Let me make sure it's all working, and the sound is working, and the mic is working, and we'll get right into this. Alrighty, it looks like all systems are a go. So this is the finals of season, I think it's 20, is it 29? What's it say in my little thing here? Season 29. Man, this RTSLeague has been going since, well, at least Age of Mythology RTSLeague has been going since like 2003? And here we are 15 years later in season 29. So we've got a best of 5 series. Let me just go over the maps real quick. Best of 5 between DoD and KeeN. Game 1 will be Valley of Kings and blind pick, which means that the other team will not know which gods the opposition is going until the game actually loads up. Then game 1 is whoever loses game 1 gets to pick the map of game 2, which is any map almost that came with the game and a few extras. And then game 3 is the winner of game 1, gets to choose again any map. Game 4 is Midgard, and then game 5 is random. Obviously, we might not need game 4 or game 5, but we shall see what is lying before us. So we'll just hop right in, because this might, depending on how many games there are, this might take a little bit of time. And let me to the right window. I think it is all good. I will put my cell phone here, and we should be good to go. Season 29. I'm looking for finals game 1. There we go. Finals game 1 on Valley of Kings. I like this map. It's kind of a goofy map. But we do have DoD spawning down on the kind of the bottom left, I suppose we could say, with KeeN on the top right. Man, this is gonna be interesting. Every player does start with a rhino or 2. Problem is, and it's 1 here. Problem is finding out exactly where it is right away, because as you can see, the towers are missing. Yep, that's right. No towers. No towers. But you get spawned right next to your buddies, so that it works out all the same. Anyway, so the other interesting thing to note is that everybody starts with a large gold mine in their base, 6,000 gold. Usually it's only 3,000. And then almost all of the rest of the gold mines, except I think for 4, yeah, are surrounded by a bandit Migdol, which is just kind of a neutral third-party Migdol that just shoots at things and really causes just a little bit of annoyance. But it just means that, you know, kind of thinking if you play League of Legends, kind of like, you know, the Baron or the Dragon, where you got to kill this kind of building in order to get all the bonus that it protects, which is all these gold mines. And there's a whole bunch of them scattered around. As you can see, and one has already picked off an oracle, so sucks to be you. And holy cow, this is elephant heaven here in the middle. Wow, 2, 4, 6, 7 elephants, a couple crocs. Man, whoever, if anybody, look at the hunt. Oh my goodness, we've got zebra everywhere. Because that's 2 packs actually. There's 1 pack here, not Tupac, but 2 packs. Tupac, he's no longer with us. And that's just the 1 pack, so it should be 16 zebra there, yep, and 1 lion. Oh, he's up there. So I don't know if they have scouted this, so man, he gets to romp right on over to these zebras and have just a good old time with all of this. We haven't looked at the gods or players yet, so let's do that real quick. DoD's got Joe here is Ra, probably a really good pick on this map, I would think. Kind of surprised he's going up here to get this hunt. I think that's a mistake. He should just go for a fast rain. This is enough food right here to get up to the next stage. Just eat this rhino. Don't even worry about this, and just do a quick 5-minute advance, but whatever. So I got distracted. Joe is Ra, Brickhead is Thor, and Shelty is Odin. So Ra, Norse. On the top right of the map, we've got Mega Blast is Zeus with a real nice elephant spawn, alright, pretty much in his base. And then the pocket is Flame, going as Thank You $. He's the pocket, Kronos. And then Green Sea Squash is Uranus. I'm not so sure of the Kronos pick. Not really quite sure what the benefit it gives, unless they're looking at some really strong early aggression, because you can get some damage. I mean, sure, you get the $6,000 gold mine there, but no towers to protect, so early aggression could be useful, but doesn't look like he's going. Yeah, he made the old what do you call it, the economic guild, so he's not going for the straight up 330 for sure. Man, not a whole lot of scouting when you're Thor Odin at all, that's for sure. Holy cow, they don't have much scouted at all. Dang it, it's not falling around now. So, and hopefully with these games there are no disconnects, anything like that. That would be kind of annoying, but hopefully we don't have to worry about any of that. I guess we'll find out if there are any, and if there are, then that kind of sucks. But we have him advancing up. Shelty is just now advancing about 5 minutes. And let's actually move over to Thor. He's up pretty quick. The Raw player is maybe soon to be up. He has idled. Yeah, he's stacking up. So he's going up with Bast. Really peculiar that he went all the way out here and not just here, and eaten his Rhino instead. But so be it. I would imagine we'll see some early aggression from the Uranus player, and maybe even some Centaur from... Nope, no Centaur. He's going up with Athena. It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. It's because Athena is more of a food-based god as opposed to Hermes. And I think that just with how open kind of the map is, just getting food could be a little more relying on a hunt. I mean, sure, there's a ton of hunt here, but how are you going to protect it? It's right in the middle. So, alright, so he's going military, and counteracts, and he is going just counteracts, and he's waiting to get his third unit to get Valor, and I imagine he will do the same. And oh, we're going some early, real heavy aggression, so they're going all out here on aggression, 2 barracks, so that's what they're going with the restoration for, is they're going to push through one of these players, which isn't a bad idea, because the assumption is that the Raw player is going to do a 2 town center fast heroic, which is meaning he's not going to be able to help out until about 9 minutes 30 seconds, 10 minutes. Killed them all, says Mr. DJ Prize, whatever you want to go. So he's going to get pushed off hunt here, and actually both of them are going to get pushed off hunt right away, and they will have no hunt to fall back on either. So this actually just initial look here is looking pretty favorable for KeeN, just what their strategy is here, because you're going to get a restoration with your Zeus, and I imagine that oh, there's something going on here. I'm just evaluating. I imagine that the rain is going to be cast pretty quick, which means it might block their restoration if they want it, but just look at the military. Dang it. Look at the military production here. Not a whole lot of military for the DoD boys. This might be a really quick game here. I mean, it's kind of an all-in, but this is a pretty high percentage all-in, I would have to say, especially with all these elephant. I mean, he's just been hunting in his base, so he's gonna be pumping out quite a lot of hop. I'm surprised he. Oh, I'm surprised the double archery range is a bit of a surprise. I also don't know what's the point of killing this barracks, so they should just get these houses here and just continue their push. And you look at, like, just getting pushed off of this front hunt kind of leaves leaves them with not a lot of hunt to fall back on. I mean, there is some here, but I don't know if they scouted that. I don't think they did. So yeah, they're going to push on this town center, and really with the Ra is probably holding off. I don't know why he hasn't used his rain yet. Maybe he's waiting until it becomes a... oh, there it is. Not a bad rain, because now it really prevents the use of restoration, which is kind of key in this push. But this is a he needs to do a little bit. Okay, I'd almost stay a little bit back right now if I were KeeN. Wait until the rain is done and then push. The problem is that there will be a shifting sands that can kind of interfere with the push. But I don't think that's a huge deal. One nice thing that they get to do because of this aggression is they get all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these elephants. And I think this is going to be a fast win for KeeN here. I like that they're maybe being just a little bit too scared of the rain, the pushing without restoration. I wouldn't use resto yet. Now I would about now is when I would use it. I think they're waiting a little too long to do their resto. Well, I guess, yeah, okay. Actually, holding on was good because now they're forcing, yeah, they're forcing it. They're forcing the aggression right now from DoD because the town center is almost dead. So they push through. Yeah, you are right, Wiz. They should have kind of maybe moved over here during the rain to block off, but I don't think it's really. Yeah, I don't think it's matters. See, this is the weakness of the Ra teammate, is that if he just does a 2-town center, typical fast heroic, is there's no support, and that's what we see. He had like 3 axemen, and that was it. And now he's used shifting sands to shift like 10 units, but honestly, he should have bailed on the fast heroic as soon as he saw the heavy aggression, because this heroic is 1,300 resources that goes to absolutely nothing. So yeah, I think this is it. Clearly, a better strategy here from KeeN than DoD. And by the way, these maps were declared maybe 2 weeks in advance, if not more. So it's time for, you know, each clan to kind of come up with a game plan. And clearly here, KeeN was kind of, I think, probably properly predicted the Ra choice by Joe, or at least an Egyptian, and then kind of planned accordingly. So this is, I mean, they're kind of doing things, but I don't really think that there's really much that they can do beyond this, because yellow has nothing really they can fall back on, and finally they did see the hunt back here, but that's a pretty quick, pretty quick game. I don't know what they're planning on doing. If there's deconstruct, they can. Oh, he used his deconstruct. Oh yeah, he should have. I don't know if he actually decunned Midgard already, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, gold mine right there. Kind of a bad spot to be fighting, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, you see all the town centers that they're taking now, taking 2 town centers at one time, and still feasting on the massive amount of elephants there in the middle. I mean, he got hunt for days. He's still hunting. Like in a normal situation, I'd say this is about the worst spot to fight for him. But I mean, there's just killing yellow puts so far ahead. They could really delete this whole army and still win. I mean, they're still gonna win. It's not like, I mean, I guess kind of when you got somebody, your enemy pushed into a corner. I mean, where are you gonna attack? I guess you gotta attack somewhere. But yeah, this town center is slowly going down to, and man, green. Oh, Mr. Thank You $sign is really shifting forward here. That's going to be the second town center to go down, and really there is no army to speak of except for Joe, so I'm kind of don't know why DoD is not resigning, but at least this is, oh, now they are. The nice thing about this quick game is that it means this potential best of 5 series might not take 3 hours, so that was a nice strategy. I did like it. Kind of something that I think is kind of is kind of the current meta. Generally goes more towards kind of a bit more of a defensive, boomy early game, but there's certainly times, especially when your opponent has a Ra, that you can take advantage of that and push through and get an early easy victory. So we are going to change that over. To game 1 goes to KeeN, and that was a demolition. And hey Wiz, I see you in the chat. I don't know if you'd be up for it, maybe downloading the recorded games too and chatting along while we watch the games together, but whatever you want. So let's just look real quick at the timeline here. Like you can see that for a brief amount of time, you see that DoD does have the resource advantage. That's just because of rain, but resource advantage doesn't do much when you're fighting minus a town center already there, right there. So you just look at the military units, and that's gonna be the tale of the game right there. And no, this is not a best of 3. This is a best of 5. This is the finals there, Ivan. The finals. Finals is a best of 5. So the game will be DoD's home map, so I can do game 2. And we'll see what's going on in game 2. Alright, so DoD has picked Anatolia. Joe is Isis, Shelty's Hades, and Brickhead's Thor. And down on the bottom, we've got a replacement. Flame has been replaced by More Champion, who is Uranos. Green Sea Squash, who is Thor. And Omega Blast, who is Zeus. So we've got an Uranos, Thor, Zeus against I already forgot, an Isis, Hades, Thor. So quite the god mashup here. We got representatives from every single culture in the game, so that's pretty cool. As far as god choices, I think really both sides are pretty good. Uranos has a real strong early game, but does fade towards the end, so especially with Hades. Hades is a stronger late game than early game. Like I'd say Hades probably maxes out better than Zeus late game. So probably the goal here will be, dang, stuff keeps falling over. The goal here will be for KeeN to get an early advantage, I think, and to push on with, because I think if it goes late game, the later the game goes, the more of an advantage DoD has. So that'll be what I think is the tale of this game, is who can get an advantage early. If KeeN can't build up an early enough advantage, then DoD will go on to win. So we look at the sides that players have docked on, as usual, because most people instinctively go to the right. We have both teams have double docked on the bottom. So we've got we'll have a 2-on-2 here on the bottom, and then a 1-on-1 here on the top. And I'd say a 1-on-1 between Uranos and Isis on water. Definitely going to go towards the Isis because he can just mass docks, and going to be a bit of a pain. However, I am noticing here there's not a whole lot of easily protected fish from docks. Like not too many fishing packs are right next to the shore, so that will be a little bit more helpful for the Uranos, who probably will just do some early fish harass, get probably a couple early town centers, and try to go with a real heavy heroic age push somewhere. Down here in the bottom, you've got a Hades, Thor, and a Thor Zeus. Should be pretty even. Hades can go with really an early Pestilence to get an early advantage, and then the Zeus can go with Restoration to get a boost in a mid-classical dock fight. Do you see the Green Sea squashes Thor instead of Oranos this game? I think probably his Thor is a little bit weaker than his Oranos. But still, Green Sea is one of the best, if not the best, team players that's playing right now. He's really solid. He was probably, well, not probably, he was the main player for last year's championship team, F2. And now he's back again on another championship team, and maybe they'll win, maybe not. And it looks like Moore is doing some early dock harass. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you. Well, he's just got his oracles lined up here like he was... I don't know why, okay, he's building another town center, that's it. Hey, what's up, Regulate? Try to keep spoilers out of the chat if you would, that would be great, because I haven't seen these games yet. Yeah, Green Sea and Play are both good, but I'd say Green Sea just because of his more flexibility, the fact that Player is really kind of more so of a one god player, though he has other gods he can do, but I think Green Sea overall across the board is better team game. Good morning, you're so tired. Well, you shouldn't be tired if you had a good night's of sleep. Go on Discord for the next game if you want. Okay, if that's, you know, I get bored sometimes just talking to myself. I mean, I know you guys are here and I appreciate that. I really do. From the depths of my heart, I appreciate you guys, but it's always nicer to kind of have someone to talk to, especially early game, because Archaic Age, I mean, what's there to talk about? I mean, I guess we could talk strategy. I think we're going to have a full-on 2-on-2 down here. I think Moore will try to do some dock harass, get early town centers here, while Joe spams docks and probably will make maybe 5 to 10 warships just to defend his fish while he goes heroic. He only slept 4 hours, so that sounds like a personal problem. Alright, so he's done an early dock harass, or tried to. Really is... Well, this is kind of a moronic valor here. I don't quite see what the point is. Really? I really don't. More champion tends to make a lot of questionable maneuvers, and this would be one of them. Especially in team games. He's a pretty good 1v1 player, but team games, not a good team player. But fortunately here, he's kind of on himself on this side, so he can almost play this like a 1v1, so at least he's got that going for him. But I don't understand this Valor where it's so low, so slow of aggression, especially when you might as well just done it down here so he can get a hero villager, which commonly unknown, I think, is that hero villagers do gather 10% faster than normal villagers, so he kind of cost himself that 10% villager upgrade. 35 minutes, you go to school. So, well, you can always watch the what, I don't know what do you call it, a podcast, a VOD, I don't even know. It's modern age, take terms, I don't know. Oh, and okay, so a lot more aggression down here on the bottom from DoD. The KeeN is kind of ignoring the water a little bit here. Kind of peculiar that Omega is getting nice shockwave that accomplishes nothing. But I don't know if I like this. And yeah, we see just kind of he's getting in dock harass. Actually, I don't even think Joe made any boats. So he's probably just going straight up. So we have a restoration, but a restoration, I mean, ooh, kind of a waste of a restoration from DoD there. I don't know why they were going to win anyway. I would have just saved the resto and just push through without it. Like, the aggression here just makes no sense because you got the Hades Sentinels. I mean, sure, they're not great, but easily protect the home base of Brickhead. So now the aggression here is useless, and sure, he can go wander up and attack the Hades player, but by the time he gets here, water is completely lost. So I feel like this strategy down here where Green Sea goes land and Omega goes water, just not a good idea. And that's going to put them in an early hole. And as I said kind of at the beginning of the game, with the gods that they have, DoD has more scaling, so this early hole that KeeN puts them in won't serve well for the end of the game where DoD is going to scale. So yeah, we now have a pretty brisk 7-minute 30-second heroic. And we have a second town center almost about halfway by more, and he is now pushing on land, or trying to. I mean, sure, he's killing these buildings here, but what does it really matter? It only costs what? What's an archery range cost these days? 100 wood? It's not that great. That is, though, not pushing through as much as they could. They're still allowing fishing, which is, I think, probably a bit of a mistake. Yeah, now we see the siege ships to protect the boats. Up here, I mean, Moore's doing pretty well. This is kind of what you do in a Aranos versus Isis matchup. Is not a whole lot of boats, just enough to pester fishing ships and then start pushing land while taking town centers. They're actually getting some pretty decent aggression here. But as soon as the Isis player throws down a Midgard, which I imagine there's one somewhere, or no, he's going real heavy on the sea. But we have Ancestors Eclipse in debate. Hey, you don't have to apologize. I don't expect you to stay. You got school. That's more important than this anyway. Kind of mismanaging his Sphinx here. It's just gonna die. Ooh, that's not good. Not good. I mean, this is really just a delay, but hey, watch your villager here. 2 villagers dead for really... He shouldn't... Look, I mean, if he loses this villager, Moore needs to be slapped in the face. Yeah, let's everybody go over and slap him in the face, because he's sitting here right next to a manor, a tower, and another manor and a town center. And he lets all 3 of these villagers die for really no reason. That's... I mean, not the end of the world, but it's not good. And in fact, if he loses... No comments beyond what I've already said. And yeah, now this forward build is not looking good either. Still battling through on the water, but just the early Fisher ass on Green Sea's eco means he can't keep up with military production, so he's getting pushed back here. Did get a town center, and Moore, during all this time where he's letting villagers die for no reason, has also lost his complete water. So, and he has no pressure on land on Joe. I mean, you look at Joe's score is 2K. And Moore is 1.2, which maybe we could argue is their suitable ratings. I don't know. But not... Initially, Moore did pretty well, but just... Yeah, I just don't like... He just lost too many villagers, and he should have probably taken a 3rd town center, too, to get a big boom. But, and now I like he running next to the forest to lose some more. So they did hold over here, which that's all well and good, but the problem is Moore and Joe just took a huge score hit. Is he going up to next stage, or what did he do to go down 4K? Maybe he deleted some boats, I'm not sure. I'm also kind of surprised he is not getting more of a fish boom. Looks like he's kind of working towards it, but what he wants to do is get a whole bunch of fishing ships, get a few markets, and just start trading, and then you'll be good to go. And we have a shockwave here to slow this down. KeeN still has the score lead, which is a bit surprising, considering what's kind of gone on so far. But hey, Ivan just woke up. My European friends are just all waking up. You gotta go to school too there, Ivan? I got 2 Ivans in. No, I got Is Ivan Zende the same as Ivan Savele? You guys are confusing me. So on the top, Joe is doing great. On the bottom, I'd say now Dot has kind of misplays this a little bit. There's no reason they shouldn't have won water. I understand there was some early pressure from Green Sea, but it wasn't like the pressure was really anything that required them to kind of abandon water. I mean, like, they should not be fishing down here. They should have been able to push that off. And yeah, you're right. The problem is with more and flaming weapons. It's alright, I guess. I'm not sure though. I'm not really sure if this flaming weapons is worth it because, I mean, sure they have to retreat, but all his forces is just a retreat. It's not like this really grabs anything of importance. I mean, this flaming weapons will get him the town center, but you're using one of the strongest god powers in the game just to grab one town center, and I don't know it's worth it. But this is going to be a problem here, is that they're going to have, I really think Green Sea is going to have to come back and defend now, because Moore's army is, well, it's right here, but yeah. And actually, yeah, this is actually a good idea. If Moore can hold down here, which he should be able to, because Ancestor's Eclipse has already been used, Green Sea can take advantage of this pretty far-reaching grab here. And the misuse of flaming weapons will kind of slow the push through the middle. Like, if they would have just saved flaming weapons for when Green Sea had to come help, and then maybe, I mean, you don't even really need to use it now, but I think the flaming weapons was a bit of a mistake. And yeah, I see what you're saying, and yeah, more just, I think, just plays team games just a little bit too much like 1v1s. So this is a nice little counter push here, but in the same time, they are losing their other forward town center. So this game is solidified a little bit to more closer than what I thought it would after Moore getting spanked early by Joe. I think Joe probably went a little bit too hard on water with all the siege boats. Now he's losing. I think he's trying to get a transport ship. Yep, he sure is. Nice transport ship. If he can get the pot for it. Oh, there he goes. We had a chaos used here for no reason. Don't really quite understand that use of chaos, but whatever. Made 2 transport ships. Now we're trying to see, is red pushed off? Well, yeah, you can move down here, but he did lose his. Now you can get some more here. He yells up with Balder. That's a pretty quick Balder for kind of getting pushed off of C. But let's see what kind of techs he's got. Ooh, he has no armory techs at all. That's not good, and not a good rig. I'm really not. I don't know. This really is all in here, and I think the all in is not a good all in, but he still does have flaming weapons, and because Brickhead wasted his, he does not. But Brickhead might be up soon too. No, he's not even advancing yet. Oh, it looks like he's trying to now. He's just needs 200 goals, so that's what he's going to want to get. He's going to want to age up before there's much damage done to his base. So this is kind of the all-in, the butt clench moment, if you will. This KeeN has thrown all their eggs into this Ragnarok basket here, and really it kind of comes to this side of the map now is kind of unimportant. All that matters is this here, and actually Joe is out of position right now. This aggression here doesn't matter because he's going to be able to hold regardless, and he will be able to push through here regardless. He needs to be back here and defending the Ragnarok, because the Ragnarok is the only way. And oh, this is a bad army, badly caught out. This is the only way that KeeN can win, is through this Ragnarok push. I don't think they will anyway, but I think Joe's a little bit out of position, but I don't think it matters. I mean, you're doing Ragnarok against a... Excuse me, or bless me. Oh, now we have Hera. That's through KeeN as well. Kind of another all-in god power there. Boy, this is interesting. But we have another Ragnarok coming up. Like, Shelty's pretty hurt as far as eco. Now we have another Rag. Which this Rag might be able to cancel out this Rag, but no. Man, this is close. Close. Problem is, maybe this will end up being the right move, is just pushing through more. Oh, and they didn't kill this town center. That was important. Yeah, I don't think KeeN's gonna hold on to win this. They don't have enough to support over here. Yeah, it is a good point too why they didn't go on Shelty. I think they were probably scared for some reason of the Sentinels, which really aren't that strong. Nice catch here though, right here by Brickhead. It's really don't know why they would be gathering from that gold mine, considering you have these here. But I just don't see with Green Sea not having much left. I mean, he does have a good eco though, so it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. But it, oh, this is interesting. I think this Ragnarok now though is out of position. I don't think the damage. Maybe, man, it's hard to say if this is worth the push over here or not. I mean, this fight here isn't worth it. But yeah, I think they're gonna push through here, and Shelty will be able to rebuild. I think DoD will end up winning a patch for Eggies in team game. I mean, it's possible for anything. And Eggies are good in team games, but I wouldn't say they're like by far. I mean, Ra is probably in most situations probably good, but there are ways to exploit Eggy in team games. And yeah, I don't think KeeN has a response for this. I mean, I think Green Sea staying up here was a mistake. He needed to come down here and assist with assist more. The all-in just didn't quite work out. Not quite. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that the all-in went quite like that. I guess KeeN understood too that the scaling was in DoD's favor, so that they kind of had to do that early all-in. And it wouldn't have been so bad if Moore wouldn't have got his butt kicked so hard by Joe. Like, all he needed was just to kind of hold on just a little bit longer. And oh, we even have an Underworld. I would have almost been tempted to Underworld here to protect Moore. Because Moore dying just undoes everything that the aggression accomplished up here. I mean, nah, I just don't know. Didn't quite keep that town center from going up either. Underworld's right next to each other. So yeah, that's gonna be it with Moore getting stomped so hard here. Yeah, KeeN. I don't know though. I don't think they would have. If they pushed through here, I think that Brickhead still is able to get up with Ragnarok. I don't think they would have killed all of this before he would have been able to age up. So I think they were in a lose-lose situation regardless there. The all-in Rag was just a little too greedy, but kind of necessary based on the fact that DoD had just immense scaling over KeeN here, mainly and be due to the Isis and Aranos matchup. So that ties up the series here at 1-1. 1-1. And I don't know if old Wizard wants to log on and do a duo here. I do have the recorded game already downloaded for game 3 if you need it. Just let me know if you're still interested in that or not. Otherwise we can kind of move on to game 3 pretty quick. Let's just kind of look at, see, that's just only a 52 bill rag, which was not a whole, kind of similar to Brickhead's level as well as far as the rag. But the problem here was just more just getting so demolished early on like that. Just getting absolutely massacred, both on water and then on land, just losing all those citizens due to kind of just careless activity there. Yeah, just so we're gonna pause real quick. Let me get in here. Can I send files via Discord or no? I'll get Wiz in here and we'll do a little duo for this game 3. Hey Wiz, you know, can I send you files via Discord or no?
I already downloaded. Don't worry, man.
Oh, okay. So you got it.
Yeah.
All right. If anybody in chat, if there's volume problems between Wiz and me and the game and whatever, just throw it in chat. So you got AOM loaded up? Oh, you can't send it in private message or put it in the chat. Okay. You there, Wiz? Do you still have push to talk? All right. Well, this is 1-1. I like it.
I'll have to run it as admin again. I'll be right back.
Oh, jeez. Man, this is what I get when I deal with incompetence. Well, hurry up. The stream. Think of the viewers, man. Shelty never even got the second fishing upgrade.
Yo.
Yow is right.
Yo.
Oh, man. Oh, good to see you in the chat too there, Mr. Crab. I like it. And don't forget, guys, I'm going to put in a plug for my own YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel where I save all of my videos just because YouTube works a lot better for that. So I'm going to throw that link in chat there just if you guys are interested or not. I don't know where this wizard is who's supposed to duo cast this game. Hey, he's back. You got AOM loaded up.
I do. I'm at 0 seconds of the third game.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me load it. Okay, you can. Okay, hit play, man. Hit play. All right. So down here, it's game 3, and this is going to be KeeN's map, and they have chosen Mediterranean. So we'll just go real quick through the gods and then just kind of get into this. So down the bottom is DoD. Shelty's Hades again. Joe is Isis again. And Brickhead is switched over from Norse to Poseidon. And on the top, more champion is Aranos again. Hey, Green Sea Squash is switched over to Hades. And Omega is Zeus. Alright, what do you think of these gods here there, Wiz?
I think Gaia is actually not a bad choice for more here. I think it's better on Medit than Aranos is. But
early on, I would say yes, but what Aranos gets later on that Gaia doesn't is Vortex, and then Medit Vortex is huge.
But if it's like anything like last game, instead of going Vortex, he's gonna go Tartarian Gate for some reason.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully.
right. If he goes Tartarian Gate, the Aranos was a bad move as compared to Gaia. And no, I don't work tonight regularly. I've been pretty busy, which is why I haven't streamed for about a week and a half. A lot of work, overtime, all that.
It's pretty interesting how common it is to see Hades and Poseidon now over Zeus on Medit.
Yeah, I don't
just
really understand that.
Yeah, neither. I don't really see the argument that Hades is like that much better in the late game to make it worth it.
Hades I can understand a little bit, but definitely not Poseidon. I don't think Poseidon gives anything that Zeus does.
The logic here is you Pestilence the Aranos. I feel like Pestilence on the Aranos player is better than Restoration, just because Aranos pumps out so many ships really quickly. But if you can slow them down and match them in ships, your ships are just naturally stronger.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think the Hades is terrible. But yeah. Poseidon, I don't, because I know Poseidon can get Pestilence too, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see the point of the double. I think the double Pestilence is a little bit of overkill. So I think it's better just to go Zeus and do the typical Restoration for a triple at some point on the sea, but. Whatever, yeah. That's what they want. And then Poseidon doesn't get Underworld either, and that's usually pretty huge. I mean, Underworld's one of those god powers that you could have 10 of them and they're all awesome. It's not like you can have too many Underworlds.
Yeah, I feel like if you really want Pestilence, it's definitely better to go Hades. I don't really know how you could ever argue that Poseidon is the best, which is kind of ironic. The god of the sea is one of the worst. It's the worst Greek god on the sea.
Or Poseidon. But he gets the hippocampus.
Yeah, that makes it worth it.
You can scout the sea a little bit earlier than everybody else.
Joe has one of his food villagers trapped in there, in between the berries.
Oh, he moved it now. What time are you at?
I'm at 2 minutes 32.
Oh, you're behind me. I'm at 3:16.
Oh no. Well, he had it there for a good minute 30 seconds. Holy moly.
All right. Well, you better catch up to me, otherwise we're gonna be talking about different stuff.
Yeah.
It might be your computer might run it just slightly slower than me. There's that problem sometimes with recorded games and computers, and some run it faster. So I'm at 340 right now.
Alright, I sped up on 340 as well.
Alright, so yeah, everybody right now is just shifting over all their villagers to the north, getting ready for the huge sea battles. And I do agree with you, because the Pestilence on the Aranos is the best play, because Aranos' really main strength on Medit is the early boat spam, because the Aranos can get a lot more boats out than everybody else quicker, and you pest that, and especially because Mora is really tidily building all three of his docks right next to each other.
Yeah, it's like he was preparing for the Pestilence, but then he's like, I'm just gonna build it right next to it anyway.
Right.
I don't really understand the logic.
The anti-prep, like, I know it's coming, so just here, there they are.
And the thing is, after the Pestilence, when Joe advances, he can match this spam just because of the sheer amount of docks Isis can get out. Right,
and then if he even wants to, let's see if Joe's going up with, oh, he's going up fast, and he is really up late, almost to 540. So we have the Pestilence, and oh, they used it on Omega.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like there's any scenario where it wouldn't be better to use it on the Oranos, especially after he docked like this. Like,
Right.
he's just asking for it.
And
But I
like-
doubt they had it scouted. Actually, they have no excuse because Brickhead's Poseidon and he
Right.
is the
Right.
horse thing.
Right, there's no excuse for that. You should be able to. And now they've pested the other. They use Pestilence on the other Greek. Like, yeah, that's a mistake. Because the Atlantean is the one that'll hurt you early on water.
Yeah.
Not like it's
And the thing
over
is-
because Joe's got 4 docks. He's gonna be able to pump, but
The thing is, Shelty's Pestilence, but he's not putting on any pressure, so...
right.
Like,
So it really means
not getting
almost nothing.
And then he just loses that to Resto later on.
Same thing on the left side. Like we're looking, Green Sea, even though he's pested. I mean, he's got a few. He is forced to garrison right now, but it's not like he's losing his boats. Which that's the key, is just don't lose your boats during Pestilence, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm at 6 minutes and like 2 seconds. Where are you at?
I'm like on 6 minutes, 2 seconds now as well. I'm like
Oh,
on
okay.
and off speeding up the game to keep up with you.
Okay, that's funny. Wonder why you're slower than me. Yeah, you look at this. Now look at this. Holy crap, Brickhead is completely pushed in now.
Yeah.
Like that's... Wow. Like he's got nothing.
Joe's doesn't have anything at all, really, either. Is he going heroic? I assume that's what he... I guess that's their plan. Go double Pestilence to buy Joe time to get heroic, and then he wins the water. But I
Yeah.
just feel like you don't... And on Meta, and when the map's this big, you just focus down the siege ships, because just out of sheer mass, you just beat them.
Right,
You
no,
have double resto.
you're right, because siege ships are just so slow. Like, say you even push one side of the sea, all they can just do is just ignore that side and just kill all your boats, and then what's the point? Kill all your They can kill all your fishing boats while your slow siege ships are... Yeah, this is...
Pretty badly misplayed by DoD, I think.
Yeah, maybe they got some secret plan that we've never thought of, but I mean, I don't think a plan is good when at 7 minutes both your flanks are pushed all the way back and they're not fishing. I guess Brickhead is kind of fishing now, but yeah, he's going full for where I'm at 7:30 right now. He's trying to go four dock siege ship spam.
The thing is, I feel like you can just take TCs now as KeeN, and even if you lose water at this point, you've got a decent lead just by having your fishing ships, a decent lead over both the flanks. And if you're taking TCs, well, Joe's pumping out siege ships.
Right,
You're
because
gonna
siege
have
ships
eco
are
advantage too.
siege ships are really expensive. I mean, it's 200 resources per boat. That's not cheap.
Yeah, I feel like they could win that fight as well. Like, he has like 4 siege ships. If you pull the ship that's getting shot at back, siege ships are so slow.
Right.
You just win.
And the one thing that siege ships don't have that normal boats have is that the normal arrow ships have perfect tracking, and the siege ships don't. So you can't do you can kite siege ships a lot easier. But Moore, yeah, I don't like Moore went up fast heroic here at 8:30. He went up with Hyperion. I don't like that. He should have just done. He just should have done the archaic move. But we got a big resto use, so the triple resto. But this is a bad fight for KeeN to be fighting here.
Wait, does the Hyperion not work on the Leviathan, or did he just misplace it that poorly? Does
It should.
Chaos, I mean.
It should work on it. He might have just misplaced it. I know we've got Ancestor's Eclipse and Green Sea's base. That's going to cause some damage because you only got one hero. But at the same time, he is getting... I mean, Shelty still is not fishing after all this time. It's one of those rare meta games where at 9.5 minutes coming up to, we've we've got everybody on one town center except for, well, just one player on each team is taking a town center. Like usually by now you start having town centers getting grabbed.
Yeah. I feel like more could just be on 3 TCs now.
Right.
And
the
I don't like the heroic very much.
And now he's got
also making weird.
he's got 3 Nereids, which only do well against Myth. You know, like they're not terrible, but it's not like they're really a boat killer.
Yeah, they're like when if you're trying to deal with enemy Myth, they're like OP because they one-shot pretty much everything. But versus boats, they're like
they're just average.
What are those things called? Servants or something?
Yeah.
That you can make as Oceanus. They're like on par with those pretty much. They're pretty useless. Although it's pretty funny when you go heroic and you just make servants, and for some reason they keep making siege ships, and the servants just never died to the siege ships.
Right. And okay, now we have a second restoration being used on this big war battle, big battle on the sea, which is going slowly going to KeeN's way. And Joe's going a little heavy on the hammer boats. Kind of questionable, the hammer boat usage.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many enemy arrow ships that they aren't doing much. And Shelty was out of position for this most recent fight. I don't know why he was up by Green Sea's docks. Like he needed to help defend. Because now he comes in, but Brickhead's boats are pretty much dead, so...
Yeah, I mean, you can even just look, by looking at the score, you can tell, like, how big the advantage is KeeN has over them. Like, after taking an Ancestors, Green Sea still has higher score than everybody on DoD.
Right, right. He's got 3 town centers, he's fishing, so... Yeah, it definitely looks like this will end up, I mean, going KeeN's way for sure. I mean, just kind of a weird tactic there, just going the pest into a fast heroic.
Yeah, I think like on paper it sounds good, but then when you actually like do it, you realize it's not actually that good at all. And also, both Moore and Green Sea have the fishing upgrade, and nobody else in the game does, so that's probably why their scores are so high.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because really for DoD, except for Joe, it's not really been worth it for Shelty or Brickhead to get it because their boats have been having to be garrisoned for so much.
Yeah, and Joe's just been making so many boats that he hasn't really got a chance to...
I'm at 12 minutes now, and Shelty's home eco is just kind of a wreck. We got all sorts of villagers standing idle. We've got, oh man, he's got like 10 idols right now that have, yeah, that's not, okay, he's finally managing it, but that's not gonna help. Hey, what's up, Sarivan there in the chat? Yeah, like Shelty is just so far behind Green Sea, despite the fact that Ancestors Eclipse got used on Green Sea.
Yeah, it was... I think he misplayed pretty poorly at the start with his using Ares, but then not actually pressuring.
Yeah, and you see Omega's grabbing Brickhead's forward town center. Will he be able to get it though? I don't think he'll be able to get it. No, it looks like Brickhead
I think he could have just taken the villagers off and killed the other hero to keep his Odysseus alive. Like, alive for longer.
Oh, now, oh, he's... maybe he will keep it. I mean, he's pumping down Toxotes. I don't think he will. He doesn't have. He only has. Omega only has 1 military building. That's kind of the problem. But the question is if Brickhead even has the eco right now to support all 4 of his buildings.
Yeah, it's gotta be rough when you go have a strategy specifically for winning water and then you end up losing it.
Yeah. But Moore threw down a 2-unit chaos there to help out Omega. So yeah, Omega is getting the Getting that town center. The key to unit chaos.
Changing the game. He won the game with that chaos. The one chaos, this chaos on the one siege ship, and this chaos has really turned the tide.
Well, what you gonna do, huh? But yeah, this is, I mean, you just look at the scores, and I mean, Omega's at 4 town centers, Brickhead's forced to just 2. I'm not one to call the game early, but I think we can probably call this game, unless KeeN just completely mishandles things. There's no way they can lose this. I mean, yeah, Green Sea is up in Artemis right now.
Yeah, I think the only way that DoD stands a chance is if more like remains AFK and makes no military on land, and then Green Sea gets 2v1 until death. And even then, I think Omega might push faster than they can through Green Sea.
And more is up Hecate right now too. No Vortex. I mean, it's not gonna matter, but I just don't understand the use of Hecate instead of I don't even know what's the name of the, what is that, Helios?
Helios.
Yeah,
It's just so much better. I don't know why you would ever in a team game not go Helios. Maybe if you were like triple Ranos and you wanted to mess with their trade and you just triple target their trade line, maybe,
Yeah.
but even then you could just Vortex one army there and kill all the trade.
But yeah, Helios, especially in meta, is just so good because you can essentially use it to counter Underworld. Or even 2 Underworlds, really. Or maybe even 3. But, I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter. I mean, Shelty's just so far behind.
Yeah.
And so is Brickhead. I mean, more probably could go AFK and they'd probably still win.
I mean, when you have a 1k score advantage at 15 minutes over your opponent, then it's probably not looking too good for you.
Here's the sad thing, Omega doesn't have either fishing ship upgrade.
That's unfortunate.
Ooh, kind of a poor use of Earthquake, I think. Just on a forward base, but I don't really see the point in it, but when you're far ahead it doesn't really matter, but I would have probably just preferred to save the Earthquake for when Omega pushes on Brickhead's base and just use it there. I'm at 1634, by the way. Oh, Green Sea finally realized he's had like, what's that?
Again, so.
What's that?
I have to keep speeding it up. I forgot. I was still a bit behind.
And Green Sea finally realized he had like 10 boats idle and deleted them all. So now he's finally able to use his ego. And Brickhead is just now getting up age 3.
I guess the argument you could make for Green Sea with that Earthquake is that if he's cutting production from Joe, then it's easier to deal with the 2v1, but I agree, I feel like it would have been better to use somewhere else. Just use it on Brickhead and win the game.
Right. And I guess we're nitpicking here because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was a pretty dominant performance by KeeN, to be honest, this game.
But like right now, if they used Earthquake on Brickhead, it would just be an instant GG.
I mean, I feel like they could use Brickhead on Moore, or Brickhead on, Brickhead what? They could use Earthquake on Moore, or Earthquake on Omega, and they'd still quite comfortably win the game.
They're gonna get bogged down a little bit here at Brickhead's base, just because they don't have very much siege, but I mean, they're just so far behind. I mean, wow.
I like how Shelty still hasn't used Sentinels. That's the best part of this game, I think.
Why bother? And more going Titan Gate. The in-your-face Titan Gate. I like how Omega's fighting there and Mora is like retreated his army all the way back. Oh, they've got quite the building. So, oh, there we go. 1850. You have a DoD resign. That's a quick meta game there between two good teams. That just shows how one-sided it was.
Yeah.
Because of all maps, meta is one where you can generally, if it's reasonably close, you can stall for days. And
especially if you take especially if you take into consideration that neither team used an underworld. Like,
right.
If you win a game before using an underworld on Medit, then you know you crushed the other team.
Yeah, that was some domination there. And somebody in chat wants to know what my computer specs are. Well, to be honest, I really don't know. I'm not a computer guy. I bought this computer because someone told me it was a good cheap computer to buy, so I bought it. So I don't really, I mean, I could look up the specs. I mean, it's pretty decent, but it's not like, I only spent like 210, 220 on it. But it was a really good deal. But anyway, let's take a look at post game real quick. And we do have KeeN now has taken the 2-1 advantage. So DoD's on life support. One more loss and it's over. Kind of surprising looking at the resource difference. They're actually, for a while there, DoD wasn't too far behind. Like, not as far behind as I would have thought.
Yeah, it's actually pretty weird.
But score they're way behind. I mean, just the main thing though is because DoD, I'm pretty sure DoD pushed a whole lot more resources into water than KeeN did, because siege ships aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot. Did KeeN Flame play? Flame played in the first game, which was a very quick KeeN victory. They did a 3-person rush on 1 person and just ran right through him. So KeeN Flame played in that game. I got to real quick here. I got to download game 4 yet, because I download the first. Here's what I do is to keep it all secret. I download the first 3, and then scroll up on the ladder if the series isn't over yet to the next game and download that one, and then whoever wins, if say DoD wins, then I know I can scroll up 1 more game and get the next one. So I'm gonna put it on intermission just for a sec while I download this game, and I gotta use the restroom whiz. So give me about 2-3 minutes and I'll be back. So if that works for you, you got 2 or 3 minutes to spare.
Okay, I'll I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I was like, I'll entertain them, but I don't have any entertaining thing to say. So
no, I'm just gonna turn on some little music and put on my little intermission thing here. So let me update the scoreboard, and then I'll be back in. Just give me a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
I'm here.
Alright, you got game 4 downloaded?
I do.
Okay, now maybe I'm crazy, but what I got, it says it's Medit, at least on the download link.
I think it's probably Midgard, seeing as even in your stream thing it says that Midgard's
Well,
the
it's
fourth
supposed to
map,
be.
so
Well, it's supposed to be. Well, let's load up
maybe
the...
they linked the wrong game.
Huh?
Maybe they linked the wrong game, but
That
it's
could-
probably worth checking it out.
It could be. So I'm gonna...
Whose idea was it to have Midgard as a map in the RTS finals anyway?
Oh, everybody's.
What? Nobody likes this map.
I like it.
What?
Oh yeah, I don't mind it at all. Let me, okay, so let me, load up here and see if this is the right thing, or if I downloaded the wrong game, or if it was the wrong game was uploaded. Now I gotta find out what did I name this game? What in the world? Alright, back to the downloads file I go. I swear I'm kind of losing my mind. I just downloaded the game and put it in my recorded game folder. Now I can't find it. Where did you download the game off of?
I just downloaded it off the RTSL site, but you'll see the results, I think, if you go on there.
Right, yeah, that's my goal is not to see the results there, big dude. Alright, so I'm loading up my game. Oh, okay, alright. So even though the map said it was on Mediterranean, it is Midgard, so I think we're good to go. So I've got it loaded up. I'm on 1 second. Let me make sure that I've got the stream right here. Let me double check my stream and make sure I got it working. And we'll get into game 4.
Just say when you want to go.
I'm just double checking and making sure I've got my streaming good. Okay, all right, I'm ready. All right, 3, 2, 1, on pause. Here we go. Midgard. And let's look at the players real quick. So down on the bottom. Oh, let's see. So yeah, bottom right is KeeN. Omega is Zeus. More champion is Aranos like usual, and Green Sea Squash is switched over to Thor. Top left, Shelty is Loki. That's the first Loki sighting. Pocket is Brickhead is Thor, and Joe is Isis again. What you think of these gods here, or goddesses? Hey, they're all gods.
I think that this is a really good Norse map, and that both the Loki and Thor are probably going to be pretty decent on this map, but they're playing against each other, so... But I think there's a really nice relic for Shelty.
Where?
Infantry. It's like to the right of his base, by his second.
Oh, infantry
line.
train faster. Oh yes, that one is so sexy for Loki. Yeah, I think in this map, maybe I'm crazy, but I think that Loki has the advantage over Thor in this map.
I agree. I think so too. I also think it's going to be pretty rough for Green Sea because his first dock is quite far away from any fish.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't have just built it in the corner. Like, you know, there's always going to be that pack in the perfect corner there. I mean, all he would have had to do is run a few seconds longer and dock right on that pack.
Yeah, I guess he just saw, like, normally when you dock to the side there, like it's on line of your TC, there's fish. Although for some reason he did like this weird diagonal instead of just straight in line from the side of his TC to the water.
And this is the Midgard version where all the town centers spawn essentially not forward. They're all pretty much, because there is a version where there would be town center spawning in between the flanks, and there aren't really any here. So it's kind of the defensive-minded settlements. Yeah, for me, I don't know, to this day, I never really was able to figure Midgard out. Which, it's just there's just such a fine line that you have to tread between too heavy on water or too heavy on land, and I never really figured it out.
I always found this map rough. That's why I don't like the map, because I can never balance it out properly.
I think that's why a lot of people don't like it, is because it's just a tough map to figure out, which that's why I was for putting it in as map 4, is just because it's not a map we don't see it. I don't think it ever gets picked, so that means we go whole RTSLeague seasons without ever seeing Midgard, and that's kind of why because in the finals we'll pick one land map and one water map, so this was the water map, the preset water map.
Right. I'd argue though that if nobody's picking it, it's probably because nobody enjoys playing it and watching it. But that's just me personally.
I don't know.
I think
people would.
Nice.
I think most people would prefer to see a variety. I mean, definitely this over another Meta. I mean, or Anatolia, because when you think, there aren't a lot of water maps in the game, and like Anatolia gets picked all the time, Meta gets picked all the time. And we could have done Sea of Worms, but we had that in the semifinals. But anyway, we're looking at the advances here. Is anybody going up yet?
That's why I think it was kind of sad when people responded so poorly to maps like Nile Delta and stuff like just those newer type of maps that have water on them. Because it'd be nice to have a couple more water maps, but I know a lot of players just don't like water maps in general.
Right,
so.
And Nile Delta just wasn't initially.
It wasn't very well balanced, but it was a cool idea. Like, I don't know, it'd be nice to see more water maps, I think.
Well, Moore's going to be the first one to reach age 2. Omega isn't even advancing yet. He's going for the brisk 5-minute. And he's house too. I wonder if Omega's going to be doing a fast heroic. In fact, he's going up. I'm at 436 right now. He's going up with Hermes. I wonder if he's going to do a fast heroic for Skilla.
It's a possibility. I don't know the matchup very well. I don't know if you would go, if fast heroic's actually worth it against an Isis or not.
I think it is. what I would have done is see, I think KeeN was a little bit hurt with their god placement. I would think I would rather have had the Uranus as the flank instead of the Zeus.
Yeah.
Because the Uranus can put on early pressure a lot quicker on water than the Zeus can. Like Moore isn't even making any boats at all. And with
in his head, it's so far to travel to put pressure onto the sides that it's not worth it. Although at the same time, I guess if Green Sea goes really heavy on water and Moore just rushes hard on land against Shelty, they could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Joe did go up with Anubis, and Brickhead's already grabbing a second town center, so he's going full eco. So if they wanted, they could almost, if Moore goes to Shelty, which he is doing, he could actually put some damage on Shelty.
It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. I assume that if Omega doesn't put pressure on water, then Joe will cast snakes on Shelty's side, and that should help.
Yeah, right now they're, oh jeez, a bolt used on a single boat, and then that gets Joe to use Flag of Serpents on Omega. So that's, I don't know why you'd cast bolt on one ship. And hey, somebody in chat says that he likes Midgard, so take that.
Alright. Congratulations.
Moore's already grabbing a town center. I think that's probably a little bit early. I would have rather he continue the unit production. But man, Shelty's really, just that Murmillo raid and now a Valkyrie is really impeding Shelty's eco. Not a huge fan. I know Anubis isn't bad, but the snakes on Midgard don't really give a whole lot, because it's not like he's gonna be forced to fight there. He can just fall back. Like Anatolia was made for serpents with how the water is constructed, but Midgard is not so huge.
I think if he plans to go full classic fight,
or lost a citizen to a raiding,
it might be okay to go serpents.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad thing, but yeah, Moore did the typical. He lost a citizen right that was literally touching his manor. So that's forcing Moore to go back. He's got to defend this raid. I'm at 750 right now.
Sped up to catch up. It looks like they've kind of stalemated water on the bottom of the map.
Yeah, it's kind of. I thought Green Sea would push. I wonder if Green Sea's going up. No, he's not really going up yet. I kind of thought Green Sea would push through with the pressure that was put on. Kind of surprised. Omega is grabbing a second town center. And yeah, on the top they've kind of stalemated too, which I would say is in the Oasis's favor to have a stalemate. However, kind of interesting is that Joe, he only has 2 fishing spots.
Yeah,
and Omega actually has 3. They've kind of stalemated in the wrong spot. Joe was a little too far back. He should kind of, okay, now he's finally got that 3rd spot, but Brickhead's just doing some pure raiding cavalry, and Brickhead's putting a really far forward base there right in front of Moore Champion. Kind of a greedy forward, I think. Not sure the benefit of it.
Especially because Shelty's army is back. Like if Green Sea is being proactive with his Herser, they could just double him pretty hard right now and take all of that.
Yeah, I think this forward, this kind of unusual forward base. Oh, and Moore did finally make a few.
Especially when you've been going.
What's that?
They're going really heavy. He's going really heavy cavalry as well. So I don't even think and if he gets the meat grade and just fights, I don't really see so it's probably.
Your mic's cutting in and out a little bit for some reason. But right now, holy crap, Brickhead's got a massive raid on Green Sea's villagers. I think he killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think Brickhead was focusing on the water battle that he was losing pretty badly because he went over to look at his villagers.
Green Sea, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Green Sea.
Oh, that's some nice raids getting put down. Yeah, it doesn't quite get that Ox Guard over there. Yeah, now Green Sea, for whatever reason, he's sending his boats way back too. Kind of unusual. Wonder if this game disconnects or something. I hope not.
Would be unfortunate.
Yeah, the semi-fast heroic. I don't know if he's going to try to go up straight up to Mythic here. Green Sea, I mean. It just
I don't
seems...
really know why you go fast heroic here as the Thor.
Wait, because he's not really getting anything out of it. I mean, he spent 1,300 resources really on almost nothing. I mean, Rickens.
It's like, unless you're gonna try put flaming weapons pressure, or if you're gonna go straight up Thimble, but I feel like the Loki just has you beat if he's goes, because he'll probably try to match that.
Right, and the Loki would probably do better. Yeah, it looks like Green Sea's aiming to go up Mythic. He just needs a little bit of wood for his market. Because he's playing, yeah, Green Sea is playing really defensive here. He's not even moving out on boats. Like, right now we've just got, it's still just complete stalemates on either side of the water.
I find it insane that Brickhead managed to take that TC and build all of this base while Shelty had his army at the healing spring this whole time. And that they haven't been able to just double and kill him.
Right. Maybe Green Sea isn't. It's hard to figure out what Green Sea's plan is. Like, he's sitting at enough resources to age up, but he doesn't have a market.
If he's going for a Ragnarok, I don't understand why you wouldn't take a second TC earlier.
Right.
But
right. So I don't really know.
Maybe does he maybe think that he was Loki during this game and picked the wrong god or something?
I don't know. All right, now he's finally building his market, but oh wow, that's Brickhead has used flaming weapons. It's kind of a poor use, I think. I don't really think it accomplishes a whole lot. And a ceasefire.
What time are you at?
I'm at 12:34.
Alright, I'm almost there.
I mean, it kind of encouraged the use of ceasefire, but the ceasefire was going to be used anyway because Joe had his Midgard army at Omega's forward town center. It was not a good use of the flaming weapons. Like, it really... You really want to save flaming weapons until when you use it, it gets you a key spot. Like, the way he used it, even if he wins that battle there, it's not like he's going to gain anything from it, so it was kind of peculiar.
Yeah, so if he wins, he potentially drops one of Moore's TCs, but then he just gets doubled, like where they were standing, and yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot more of a defensive game than what I thought it would be. It's pretty defensive here.
Yeah, from both the Norse players especially, I feel like both of them have literally just sat in their base with their army this whole time.
Yeah. Morse finally got a raid in, that first one since early on. Oh, there's this, just the ancestors are being used by Joe at the forward town center. I think Omega's gonna have a hard time keeping Joe back.
Yeah, I think Omega's gonna be dead here. I don't think he can defend this.
Because he can't get any help from the Uranos. at all. Like Omega.
And Omega C.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Jeez.
I was gonna say Omega's economy is not in the best shape at the moment either.
No, it's not.
Looks like he has kind of defended it here.
Yeah, and we do have another Tartarian gate has been used, and now we have two Ragnaroks have now just been thrown down. Yes, push will go through Omega. He will at least get the town center down.
The flaming weapons to kill one boar. Or I get, oh never mind, to make them retreat. Sorry, not flaming weapons, forest fire.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that it's kind of weird that people save forest fire so long.
Because here's the thing: is now that Green Sea has flaming weapons for his rag, and Brickhead doesn't. Like that's huge.
True, unless their thought was that Shelty could match some of the rag with his flaming weapons, but
right.
I don't know.
Oh, Shelty got in. That was a key. Thimble winner flaming weapons right here. That's preventing Green Sea from using his flaming weapons. That was huge. And Omega is just resigning here. Yeah, that's it. That was a sudden end.
Yeah, for like all that build-up where no one was doing anything, and it just all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, it's over. Man. And that turned on a dime there. Just Omega's eco was just really far behind, and that Fimble finished him off. He had two wolf spawns on his base, so there was no way he was gonna hold back no way he was gonna hold back Joe's push.
Yeah, and Moore wasn't gonna be able to go help him. I think Moore probably loses the fight here anyway.
No, yeah, I think Brickhead played really well. He got some really good raids early on with just one pack of raiding cavalry that really slowed.
I think Brickhead kind of carried this game here.
Yeah, he did. He did really well.
Really well.
Because he essentially was really almost 2-on-1 there in the middle and was kind of holding his own there 2-on-1 and kept that town center. So we're on to game 5, which is really interesting because game 5 throws in just a little bit of luck because it's just random map, and so it kind of it's kind of, you know, the god choices can really be, you kind of just got to go kind of the niche. You have to stay away from the niche gods because you get a map that they're bad at and you're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess everyone will just go to comfort picks.
Right, that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to download a game of 5. We are all the way down to the wire. This is as far as we can go. Game 5. So let me download game 5 off of the boobs.
Alright, I've seen the gods and the map.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. See, I do it the right way. See,
well, I mean, I didn't see it until now, but I didn't actually like focus on it. But now that I've loaded the game, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I like interesting. That's awesome. All right, so I'm downloading it. All right. Let's get this finals game 5 for all of the marbles. They're playing for pinks here. Two to 2. All right. Finals game 5. Let's get this game 5 put in, and this is game 5 is random map. They can obviously pick their civs, but when you don't know what the map is ahead of time, it kind of introduces a little bit of luck. So you're ready for game 5? You ready to delve into this this masterpiece, Riz?
I'm ready.
Alrighty, let me click it and record game, and we are gone. And oh, it comes up. Oh, Oasis. And what are the gods? Okay, so Dot is Thor, Ra, Odin, and KeeN as Uranus, Zeus.
Yeah, you've got to say KeeN probably has the favorite
Yeah.
matchup here versus the double Norse.
At least they do early on. The early game is KeeN for sure, but if Dot can hold out,
yeah, then
they've got Ra. But
it's gonna be monstrous.
So that's this. Were you here for game 1?
I was not.
Oh, okay, so game 1 KeeN won in like 10 minutes.
Oh wait,
They
yeah,
did
actually,
a
sorry, yeah,
three-man
I was.
push. I don't think I would try that here. But I don't know. I mean, I would almost just do it again. Is just do a 3-man push on Sheltie. The problem is there's just so little hunt for the Zeus to fall back on. Like, let's look at where are the hunt spawns anyway.
I think the maps it's a lot bigger here as well.
It
so
is.
It's a triple one player would be very difficult, but I could see a double working. Although I feel like Omega's probably just going to go Centaurs and
hold on.
Mythic.
I had the wrong screen on. Thanks for the nudge there. Should be able to see it now. My bad, guys. My bad. Sorry. So yeah, this is game 5. You could hear me though, right? I'm pretty sure they can. Yeah. All right.
See, and I think they got really nice placement as well here. Have both the Norse players on the sides. Like, I almost feel like it would have been okay to have the Ra on one of the sides.
Oh
here.
yeah, you'd rather have the Ra on the side.
Yeah, and if there was one matchup that I'd say more would beat Berkedin, it would be Uranus versus Thor on Oasis.
On Oasis, yeah.
I'd probably favor more on his side, and I'd favor Green Sea on his side as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it seems to me I would anticipate that KeeN would just do too much damage to Dot early for the late game Ra to help out. Because it's gonna be as a pocket, it's gonna be hard for him to be on both sides early. Like, it'll be impossible. So KeeN can dictate the early game just based on just the double. However, it is interesting though, just how the Oasis is. It's the one Oasis which kind of makes switching from one player to another on aggression harder, because it's hard. There's no gap in the middle that you can use to run across. So that is interesting.
I think a big factor in this game is also going to be Sheltie got quite a rough map. Like, Green Sea has a back hunt. He has got back giraffe. Look how far forward Sheltie's giraffe are. That's like insanely.
Yeah, they are pretty far forward. Yeah, that's gonna be real tough for him to.
I don't see Sheltie lasting too long on his side unless he gets help with hunt like that.
If I were Sheltie.
Tilbuin?
See, now he's actually going back. He's not even going to his hunt. That's really
smart choice.
I'm at 330, but I think it's more went up with the 330 advance. He's doing a crush with Uranus, which is very peculiar.
Actually, I guess if he went giraffe and then when Green Sea advances, he can go back onto goats, because
yeah.
I mean, the one good thing about Odin is he's gonna have great hunt for those goats, right? So he can survive off that for quite a while.
What do you think of the 330 by Moore? I don't understand that. Especially, like, I could understand it if he's gonna put pressure on the hunt, but he went 330 just to maybe kill a tower that protects nothing.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason you would ever go 330 in this matchup is if they had extremely forward first and second hunt, that you have scouted with your oracles, so you know you can push them off straight away.
Right. So.
But he doesn't have it scouted, and it's back hunt, so there's really no purpose to this, and
Right.
it's kind of throwing away his lead, or like economical lead that he could have just by being Uranos.
Right. He's stealing the goats though. That is actually a good move. At 430 more, it actually probably makes the first good move of his life in team games. Is he stole away all of Brickhead's goats. That's actually very significant.
I've never actually seen an Uranos player do that before.
Oh, can we do it? Can we do it? He's trying to get him out. That's huge if he can get him. He's not doing a good job running his goats away though. Yeah, now here I am talking about goat stealing. Oh, and they bolt. Yep, they're gonna get it. That was actually a really useful bolt on the Pharaoh. I don't know why Joe sent his Pharaoh all the way up. That was really a waste of the Pharaoh.
I'm assuming that he was like, Moore's gonna have a lot of pressure on, right, with the 3 Promethean, so he could put,
yeah.
So he could like help defend against the Promethean, but yeah.
But the pressure was dumb. I mean, I say this all the time, but you see a lot of Loki players do it too. Is the attacking of a watchtower that protects nothing? I mean, it accomplishes nothing. Like, what's the point?
The one way you could justify a Loki potentially by saying
This is a
he's
favor.
generating favor,
Right.
but there's just no reason for an Uranos player to do it, especially if it's protecting nothing.
Oh, and he shifted, oh, okay. That's a really good shift back. Joe shifted all of Omega's goats to Brickhead then. I think Omega did not spread his goats out at all. He should have anticipated that. I haven't looked on the left side at all. I don't quite haven't seen what's going on. But Great Hunt is huge in this map too, because it gets him tons of goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is still, I don't know. The 330 I think puts more in an unnecessary disadvantage. Well, not really a disadvantage, but it's not as good as it could have been. Yeah, so Moore is not on his back hunt yet either, which is a bit unusual. And Omega went
Joe
up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, Omega went up with Athena, which isn't terrible, but it's a bit of an all-in because it's a huge. It's really dependent on food.
Yeah.
Joe's got a really slow heroic age
Yeah,
too. Really slow. I don't know if that's what you're gonna mention.
Yeah, and also, why would you go? I feel like going in Athena here after you just had all your goats shifted away is a pretty ballsy move. I was gonna say, why does Joe keep sending? He sent his Pharaoh and his Watcher down just to die. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like Brickhead's okay here. You don't have to keep sending units to their death.
Oh man, and Joe, he used rain and he doesn't have husbandry or plow. That costs like that alone costs like 400 or 500 food.
Rig.
Maybe he started panicking when he saw the Athena and like had, because of last game, felt like if he doesn't get heroic fast enough to defend
Yeah,
here,
but
he's a goner.
not getting plow and husbandry just makes it slower. Like plow and husbandry pays for itself immediately.
Yeah.
And which?
Like he went,
That was
it
weird.
kind of a peculiar build for Ra on this map. I would never get hunting dogs as Ra. I would not go out of my base to get forward hunt. I would just feast off of goats. Yeah, because this is a big aggression on the left now that Omega has finally showed up. But you're right. This is with the shifting of the goats. It's gonna be tough to keep the aggression up because Omega doesn't have a ton of food to fall back on.
That's true, but if they do the damage, like if the CC drops for Shelty, I think it's basically game.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was. Ooh, man, this is gonna be close. There's not a lot of hops though to take the TC down.
True.
I don't know if they'll be able to get it in time, but they are doing a lot of damage to his eco. I mean, even if they don't get the town center down, this is a ton of damage to the eco.
And the problem is, even if like let's say the TC does go down here, and Shelty retreats, Joe has no eco either because of his
Right,
build.
because he
So
he didn't.
It's not like he can 2v1 here.
Right, because he advanced his. Yeah, that Resto is going to get it down for sure. Yeah, because Joe really screwed up because for as slow as he advanced, he could have been doing a 2 town center and advanced just as fast. Yeah, that's some. Yeah, this is not looking good for Dodd here. This is kind of pretty similar to what they did on the first game too, with the really heavy aggression. And this is how you beat Ra in team games, is you just absolutely brutalize the teammate.
Yeah, the thing is, Shelty had a back gold here. I feel like you could have, I feel like you have to be prepared for that to happen and just place your barracks to block like, you know how you place it so that units kind of can't all group up right next to the TC and all hit it at once? Right. Yeah, you have to try to do that. But at the same time, it's really rough when you have a Ra as a teammate.
Right, and we're kind of ignoring the right side, which really doesn't look like. I mean, they both grab town centers, and they're just kind of going back, and it's not really too much. Haven't missed too much on the right side, but yeah, this is big, and I don't, because of Joe's very poor build, I don't see how he can overcome and take out a 2-on-1 because his eco is not what it should be.
And the thing is, even if more kind of misplayed early on, even if Brickhead like goes even on that side, it like doesn't really make much of a difference.
Right, because they're losing heavily on the left.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is kind of peculiar. It looks like KeeN is moving all of their units over to the right. That's a mistake. They should have just pushed through on the left.
So I guess your idea is if you can send everything and take out Brickhead now as well, then it's just Joe.
Yeah, I would have just kept pushing because this allows Shelty to take, like if they would have just pushed to where Joe's base forward was, they probably would have been able to take that out too. So this is a pretty big blunder, I feel, from KeeN. And this kind of goes into the fact that now we're on that one Oasis map where they have to walk all the way around the Oasis to get over there.
I think it's a bit like made a bit more Joe being as far ahead as he could have been.
Right, because he had his eco isn't good. They could have pushed through, and now Joe can kind of raid. Because this is how they can catch up, is by raiding.
I mean, the thing is, there's going to be 3 armies and for Brickhead to try to defend now, and Joe, he has some like fast units, but the bulk of his army isn't like won't be there in time. I feel.
Right. I'm not saying
lose so much.
Right. I'm not saying it's the end. Like this is the end of KeeN's advantage. I just think this was just a bit of a misplay. But they have a huge. Oh, this is a nice raid too by Moore on the back. If he kills that ox cart on the gold mine, I'm at 12 minutes. If he kills that ox cart on the gold mine, that would be pretty huge. Because yeah, Joe just has no army because his eco, the plowless, and he still does not. Wow, he does not have plow or husbandry yet.
He's gone double Midgard and he's making camels as well.
And he's not empowering his town center. His pharaoh is doing nothing. Like this is very, very poorly played by Joe so far. And he hasn't used pest either. You gotta use pest pretty much as soon as you can. Well, yeah, man, I don't see what Dodd can do to respond to this. I mean, yeah, now Brickhead's forward is dead, and Joe's army consists of 9 raiding units. And his eco is terrible. Man. No plow or husbandry at 13 minutes is raw. Like, whew. Whew.
And Shelty's army is basically just a bunch of all-stars, so...
Right.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be doing very much in these fights.
Right. Yeah, because, like, Shelty's miles away from, like, getting heroic or anything. Miles away. Like by now the raw player should be, he should be at max or close to max vills right now. He finally did a pest, but a pretty weak pest on just a few farms.
If you're gonna pest the farms, I don't know why you don't just do it straight away.
Right.
Like,
right. That's what I mean. Like, the longer you let pests sit in your back pocket, the less of an effect it has. Because killing 10 villagers at 8 minutes is much bigger than killing 10 vills at 10, because if you do it at 8, then you've got, you know, 2 extra minutes of lack of income.
Yeah, I think the actual best pest that he could have done is if he used it on Green Sea, because Green Sea has like 8 farms that are all grouped together.
Oh yeah, he does. That's, yeah, wow, he could have killed all of those. Of course, hindsight's 20/20, and ooh, Joe's really mismanaging it. 14/20, you go on the right, Joe's Petsuchos are really mismanaged.
Like, if they had any chance of surviving, it's...
That killed it right there, because, oh man, that's 4 Petsuchos killed just with, like, almost doing no damage.
And, like, when they're in the back, they're so strong, but...
Oh man.
That was a nice shockwave as well to push them back into the army.
Yeah, 4 Petsuchos for, like, no damage. That's like in League of Legends, you bring up the damage table after a fight, and you see that Vayne did 0 damage. Like, wow. Nothing.
It is. It's exact. That Petsuchos was like a Vayne play, where the Vayne tumbles in 1v5 and just dies doing no damage.
That's what happened. They did not. I think they might have shot once.
And it just sit there like, wait, what? And then you wait for the old chat for the Vayne to start flaming the support, saying that support didn't peel well enough for her.
Yeah. Like Brickhead. Like, there's no reason at all that Brickhead's score should be higher than Joe's.
Yeah.
No reason at all.
I feel like this game's been pretty rough for Brickhead, because I feel like this is another game where he's played pretty well. I don't think he...
He did. He, like, for what he, I mean, he essentially was pretty much tripled there and for a bit, and he's still holding his own. And yeah, Joe definitely the weakest link here. I mean, holy cow, I bet he finally got Plow and Husbandry about 9 minutes too late.
Yeah, he did really well in the Anatolia game, but just this game he didn't show up as well.
Well, I'm guessing this result is why Regulate was showing his face in chat.
Skip on?
Because, man, you know they lose it. They lose those KeeN boys. They're hiding in some cavern somewhere. Well, yeah, unless something miraculous happens and Green Sea Squash suddenly gets, like, knifed in the back by a J4, I think this game's
I feel like they'd still win. In all honesty, I feel like if they all gave all their resources to Omega right now and deleted all their TCs and resigned, they still would win this game. I feel like Omega at this point could probably win it by himself. That's how far behind Shelty and Brickhead, the gang, the DoD gang, really are this game.
Do I play League? I do play a League a little bit. I mean, a decent amount. I don't really like. I'm not a tryhard, but yeah. Well, here's Osiris. Let's see if Osiris kind of wanders up and gets killed too.
And there's just the hero Contarius by Green Sea.
Yeah, he's just kind of messing around really, because yeah, he did finally get that 4th town center. It really, I gotta say, like the wins here, KeeN won just based on better strategy choices, mainly. I mean, here I guess you could say, well, even this was a strategical win. I mean, just the heavy double on Shelty.
Yeah, it's almost like people, it's like DoD have never played against anybody that knows how to play against the Ra. So this is like the second time in a row where they've had this type of scenario where they just get run over on one side and the Ra has done nothing to help.
Right.
Or could not do anything to help.
Right, because... Yeah, man. My username is same as AOT and it's ChronoJJ.
I think it's the same, the first game and this game, where Joe's kind of in two minds, where he's trying to get up fast to try help defend, but he's also trying to like get big enough so that he can carry the game by himself. And
Right.
I think he needs to commit to one of them. He either needs to go classic army and defend.
Right.
Or
You can't do middle. You are right. As a Ra, you can't do in between. It doesn't work. And you see that this is kind of comical. It's like you see, like Brickhead really is almost at level with more, despite the double/triple. Like as far as like Brickhead has put together a really good game here, just to be in the position that he's in with what he's faced.
In general, he's just had a really good series.
I like Omega's just pure hoplites pop out of this back end underworld here. And now they're gonna go back and just utterly demolish this other town. Well, now you got Osiris here. I'm at 1930, by the way.
Oh, I'm a bit behind.
Well, yeah, you missed. We've got lightning storm on Joe's army. Lightning storm is kind of underwhelming in most scenarios.
Yeah. I feel like it's something that you take if for some reason you are still trying to gold starve at Mythic Age.
Right.
Something like that, but...
It's definitely not a team game, God Power.
Yeah, it's like very niche scenarios that you would use Lightning Storm.
They are playing with their food, as Ivan says in chat. Hey, a little bit. What Green Sea is doing definitely isn't the best for him to do, but because I mean, he could do anything. But well, that's the game, and that is the series. We have a KeeN RTSLeague champion. And oh, I had my score wrong.
I guess this means Green two-time champion now.
Yeah,
I wonder what
Sea.
Magic always says that Green Sea isn't the best team game player, so I wonder what how he would justify this one.
Green Sea is he's the best team game player. I mean,
yeah,
he carried.
I feel like
him and Player carried me last year. I mean, jeez. That alone should tell you. Some ancient old dude who has like 10 clicks per minute is able to win. But that's game 5. That is the final. We have KeeN as the RTSLeague champion, season 29. Give him a woot woot. And a woot woot for Joe for getting plow and husbandry at 15 minutes. Even if you gotta assume, even if Shelty loses his first base, if Joe does a proper 2-town center fast heroic, the game's not over at that point. But
oh yeah,
because
Rush
Joe
is
is
so strong on this map,
right? But because Joe just unneeded self-inflicted wounds there was just really put himself out of the game until, I mean, there's no reason he should be behind Brickhead in score. There's no reason in this situation he should be behind anybody in score. I mean, he's a Ron Oasis.
Yeah, that is true, man. Squash almost has 3K score more than Shelty at the end of the game. And he's been trolling as well. So.
Right. He's just been making pure Cantarius. Oh. That was a pretty good series. I wouldn't really say any game was really very close though, which is a little unfortunate. Like
the Anatolia would probably be the closest game, but it feels like when KeeN wins, KeeN just completely crushes them.
Well, right.
When DoD wins, they just kind of like slowly, not slowly, but like I feel like DoD were not as good at like taking advantage of errors than KeeN were.
Well, yeah,
and KeeN's strategies were just better.
Right. This was definitely a strategical series win. I mean, game one was a purely strategical win there. They absolutely smoked them, and then their game 3 win on Meta was a strategical win as far as DoD just doing the wrong strategy.
Yeah, I feel like this is the second game where, well, to be fair, it's kind of hard to prepare a strategy for this game when you don't know what the map's going to be.
Well, but that's another aspect of, that's why it's real-time strategy, is they got to come up with a good plan in the first couple minutes of the game, and KeeN got a good plan, and I mean, Dodds really wasn't wrong, it's just Joe just played pretty bad.
True.
Played pretty bad. Like, Brick had to be where he's at. I mean, in Mythic with a little bit of a rag, not terrible spot. It's just no help from the Pocket Raw. And the Pocket Raw's got to be a monster there.
Yeah. KeeN has the best scouting program for young talent. I like it.
Well, if that includes more than then I guess talent is
vague term.
A very vague term, but and I don't want to be seen as smashing more. He's just a 1v1 really, player.
Yeah, he's really good at 1v1. And the team game, it's just like, if you left him in a 1v1 scenario in a team game, he'll do really well, but he doesn't switch between players fast enough, I think, compared to like Green Sea.
Right. And he just plays. I mean, team games play substantially different than 1v1s. It's not the same at all. But there's situations where in team games, if you can get yourself into a pretty much one-on-one, which that's what he's got to go for. But yeah, Valley of the Kings, you're right. That, I mean, they picked in Egypt and there's no towers. I mean, that's just begging for, especially if it was Ra in that case, who does a 2-town center fast heroic. I mean, that's just begging for an early triple, which will win every time.
It almost felt like it was like a handicap that, well, no, not almost. It was a handicap that Dod's players are very mono in their gods. Like Joe only Egyptian, Riquet can play Greek as well, but he's mostly Norse. So it kind of left them. It made it easier for KeeN to prepare strategies.
Right, and
against mono god.
And that's why a player like Green Sea is just so valuable, is that he can pretty much go any god and be effective.
See, the weird thing about that is, then you also have players like T2 who's played mono god and they've won a bunch of titles. Oh, I didn't watch any of the JSS games, so I don't know how that went.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's just complete raw individual talent that carries JSS. But anyway,
yeah,
I'm probably going to close the stream for now. I do appreciate all of those who were watching, and apologies for that 1 minute of wrong screen. But we got through it. So that is the last, well, it's not actually the last series, because there still is the finals of the losers bracket, essentially. That is DoD B versus Frost A, which might be some pretty decent games, but I think that's only a best of 3 if they ever manage to play anyway. So I'm going to turn the stream off again. Thanks all for watching. And let me real quick, again, just going to put in the chat. I do have a YouTube channel where all of the live streams get saved. So let me just put that in chat if you're interested in catching up on all the live streams from the past, I got them all up there just because it's a lot easier to do it on YouTube than Twitch. And that's it for tonight, I think. So thanks all for watching, and I will catch you fellers later.